In this story, you and I will take a powerful journey together. This journey is not only about history, and it is not only about learning English. It is about discovering wisdom, confidence, and the power of asking good questions. Our topic is the unbelievable story of Socrates. But do not worry if you do not know much about him yet. By the end of this story, you will not only know who Socrates was, but you will also feel inspired by the way he lived, spoke, and thought. You will learn English through repetition, practice, and real emotion. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy this story with me. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who changed your way of thinking completely? Maybe it was a teacher, a friend, a parent, or even a stranger. Some people have the power to change us without giving us money or gifts. They change us by opening our minds. Socrates was that kind of person. He did not write books. He did not build temples. He did not travel the world. He did something much more powerful. He helped people think. Socrates was born in Athens, Greece, around the year 470 BC. Life was very different back then. There were no phones, no computers, no electricity, and no cars. People walked everywhere. They met in open places called agoras. The agora was like a market, a conversation area, and a news center all in one. People sold food, bread, fruit, and olives there. But they also shared ideas, discussed politics, talked about war, and told stories. The agora was the heart of Athens. Athens was a new kind of city at that time. It was the birthplace of democracy. That means people could vote and share their opinions. Speaking well was very important. If you wanted power, you needed strong words. Many teachers in Athens taught young men how to speak in public. These teachers were called sophists. They taught people how to win arguments, even if they were wrong. They cared more about winning than about truth. But Socrates was different. He did not care about winning arguments. He cared about truth, honesty, and wisdom. Instead of giving speeches, he asked questions. Instead of saying, "I know the answer," he said, "Let us find the truth together." He believed that every person had a sleeping mind, and his questions could wake it up. Let us practice some vocabulary. Repeat after me. Wisdom, truth, question, conversation, courage, philosophy. Excellent. One more time. Wisdom, truth, question, conversation, courage, philosophy. Great work. Socrates was not rich. He lived a simple life. He wore plain clothes. He walked barefoot most of the time. Some people said he looked strange. Some even said he was ugly. But when Socrates spoke, people stopped to listen. There was something powerful about him. He spoke with calm energy. He was curious. He was brave. He was honest, even when honesty made people angry. There is something important to understand about Socrates. He believed that the most important thing in life was not money, not fame, not power, but the goodness of the soul. Repeat after me. The soul is more important than money. Again, the soul is more important than money. Very good. Socrates believed that living a good life meant being honest, doing what is right, and searching for wisdom. Let me share a short story. One day a young man came to Socrates and said, "Socrates, I want to become wise. Please teach me." Socrates said, "I do not teach. I only ask questions." The young man said, "But I want knowledge." Socrates asked him, "Why do you want knowledge?" The young man replied, "Because knowledge gives power." Socrates shook his head and said, "No. True knowledge gives freedom. Power can control others. Freedom helps you control yourself. That is wisdom. Think about that. What is better, controlling others or controlling yourself? Say your answer out loud. Good. Your voice matters in this story. Every time you speak, you grow more confident in English." Socrates believed in a special kind of learning. He did not teach by giving answers. He helped people discover answers inside themselves. When people gave him an answer, he asked another question, and another, and another. He wanted people to think more deeply. His method of teaching is now called the Socratic method. It is used today in schools, universities, and law education around the world. Now let us practice speaking again. Repeat after me. Questions lead to understanding. Again, questions lead to understanding. Very nice. One more time. Questions lead to understanding. Excellent. Socrates did not work as a teacher in a school. He did not take money for his conversations. He believed that wisdom should be free for everyone. So every day he walked through the streets of Athens, stopping to talk with people. He spoke with rich men and poor workers. He spoke with artists, soldiers, politicians, and children. Some people loved his questions. They enjoyed thinking, but others did not. Some people felt embarrassed when Socrates asked difficult questions. They did not like feeling wrong. They did not like changing their ideas. Some even became angry with him, but Socrates did not stop. He believed it was his duty to help others find truth. He once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Repeat that slowly after me. The unexamined life is not worth living. Again, the unexamined life is not worth living. Very good, what does that mean? It means that life has no meaning if we never think about it. If we never ask, who am I, what is right, and how can I improve, then we are just sleeping through life. Socrates wanted everyone to wake up. Let us reflect for a moment. Why are you learning English? Do you know your personal reason? Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to study abroad. Maybe you want to travel or speak with people from different countries. These are good reasons, but your deeper reason must come from your heart. Maybe your true reason is freedom. Maybe you want to express yourself. Maybe you want to grow. Just like Socrates believed in searching for truth, you must search for your true motivation. Say this with me. I am learning English to improve my life. Again, I am learning English to improve my life. One more time. I am learning English to improve my life. Wonderful. Before we continue, I want to teach you one more famous quote by Socrates. He said, "I know that I know nothing." At first this sounds strange. How can a wise man say that he knows nothing? The meaning is simple. He was saying, I am always learning. I will never stop asking questions. There is always more to understand. This quote teaches us to stay humble. When we think we know everything, we stop learning. But when we admit that we do not know everything, we continue to grow. Great. Let us continue our journey into the unbelievable story of Socrates. Take a deep breath, get comfortable, and stay focused. Remember, this is not only a story. This is your English practice. Listen carefully, repeat sentences aloud, and feel the meaning behind the words. Let us begin again. Socrates continued to walk through the streets of Athens, always searching for people who were willing to think. He believed that every human being had the potential for wisdom, but most people were too busy or too afraid to search for it. Many people lived without examining their lives. They followed traditions. They believed what others told them. They never asked why, but Socrates asked why every day. He questioned everything, even things that seemed obvious. This made him a very interesting person, but also a very dangerous one. Dangerous not because he hurt people, but because he made powerful people uncomfortable. When you question people who have power, they usually do not like it. They want to keep their power. They want to control people with fear, lies, or beautiful words. But Socrates was not afraid of them. He believed that truth was more important than popularity. He said, I would rather speak the truth and be hated than speak a lie and be loved. Repeat that after me. I would rather speak the truth and be hated than speak a lie and be loved. Again. I would rather speak the truth and be hated than speak a lie and be loved. Well done. That sentence contains a powerful life lesson. Never trade your honesty for comfort. Never trade your character for approval. Be strong, even when it is difficult. One day, Socrates met a man named Euthyphro. Euthyphro believed he was an expert in religion and morality. He thought he knew exactly what pleased the gods. Socrates began to ask him questions. What is good? What is holy? What makes something right or wrong? Euthyphro tried to answer, but every answer he gave created more questions. In the end, he became confused. He thought he was wise, but Socrates showed him that he did not really understand what he was talking about. This was one of Socrates' special skills. He showed people their own ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing. But most people do not want to admit that they do not know. So when Socrates revealed their ignorance, they felt embarrassed. Some became angry and avoided him. Others became humble and grateful. They wanted to learn and grow. Socrates believed that admitting ignorance was the first step to wisdom. Repeat after me. Admitting ignorance is the first step to wisdom. Again, admitting ignorance is the first step to wisdom. But not everyone understood Socrates. The sophists, the teachers who charged money to teach people how to argue, began to hate him. They said that Socrates was dangerous because he taught people to question everything, including tradition, religion, and government. They said he confused young people and made them disrespect authority. Rumors began to spread. People said that Socrates did not believe in the gods of Athens. They said he was a troublemaker. But Socrates did not care about rumors. He continued his life mission, to help people search for truth. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to do something good, but others misunderstood you? Maybe you tried to speak honestly, but someone thought you were being rude. Maybe you tried to help, but someone thought you had bad intentions. That is what happened to Socrates. He wanted to help people by encouraging them to think, but many people saw him as a problem. Let us practice some new vocabulary. Repeat after me. Wisdom, ignorance, rumor, courage, truth, question, excellent. Again. Wisdom, ignorance, rumor, courage, truth, question, wonderful. Socrates was married to a woman named Xantippe. Some people say she was difficult, and that she often became angry with him. There is a famous story about her. One day she was shouting at Socrates because he was poor, and always spent his time talking to people in the streets, instead of earning money. Socrates listened quietly, and after she finished shouting, she became even angrier, and poured water on his head from an upper window. Instead of becoming angry, Socrates laughed and said, "After thunder comes rain." This story shows his calm personality. He did not let anger control him. He believed that peace begins inside the mind. Repeat after me. I choose peace over anger. Again, I choose peace over anger. One more time. I choose peace over anger. Very good. That is a lesson you can use not only in English learning, but in life. Socrates also had many faithful students who loved him and admired him. The most famous of them was Plato. Plato was young when he met Socrates, but he was very intelligent and deeply inspired by him. Plato listened to Socrates every day and wrote down many of their conversations. Thanks to Plato, we know most of what Socrates said. Socrates himself never wrote anything. He believed that writing could kill learning, because when things are written, people stop thinking. They just read and accept. Socrates wanted people to think, not just read. Through Plato, the ideas of Socrates became famous. Plato later started his own school called the Academy, and he also taught another famous philosopher, Aristotle. Aristotle later became the teacher of Alexander the Great. So you can see that even though Socrates did not write books, his influence continued through others. His ideas traveled through minds from teacher to student, from generation to generation. This is an important lesson. Even if you do not have money or power, your words and ideas can still change the world. When you speak with honesty and courage, people listen. When you ask good questions, people think. When you search for truth, people feel inspired to do the same. Repeat after me. My ideas matter. Again, my ideas matter. One more time. My ideas matter. Excellent. However, life was not always peaceful for Socrates. Athens went through a difficult time. The city fought a long war called the Peloponnesian War against Sparta, another Greek city. After many years of war, Athens lost. Many people blamed the government, the leaders, and even the intellectuals for the defeat. They believed that too much freedom, too much debate, and too much questioning had weakened the city. Some people wanted strong control, less questioning, and more obedience. In this environment, some people saw Socrates as a threat. They said he was corrupting the young people of Athens. They said he taught them to disrespect tradition and authority. They said he was dangerous. They wanted to silence him. Think for a moment about that word. Silence. When powerful people cannot control someone, they try to silence them. They try to stop their voice. But voices that speak truth cannot be silenced forever. The truth always finds a way to be heard. That is why we still know the name of Socrates today. Before we end this section, let us practice a few important sentences. Repeat after me. I will keep searching for truth. Again, I will keep searching for truth. Next sentence. My voice is important. Again, my voice is important. And one more, I will never stop learning. Again, I will never stop learning. You are doing great. Your mind is growing. Your English is improving. Your focus is getting stronger. And the story is just becoming more intense. In the next section, we will see how Socrates is taken to trial, accused by his enemies and forced to defend himself in front of all of Athens. The drama will grow deeper and the lessons will become more powerful. All right, let us continue. Stay focused, keep your energy high, and remember to speak along with me during the story. Speaking will help your pronunciation, listening, and confidence. This is section 3 of our journey into the unbelievable story of Socrates. The people of Athens grew more suspicious of Socrates. Some of them did not like the way he questioned everything. They did not like how he made powerful men look foolish. They did not like how he encouraged young people to think for themselves instead of obeying blindly. So one day 3 men decided to bring serious charges against Socrates. Their names were Miletus, Anytus, and Lycon. These men were politicians and public speakers. They had influence. They knew how to control public opinion. And they wanted to get rid of Socrates, so they accused him of 2 crimes. First, they said he did not believe in the gods of Athens. Second, they said he was corrupting the youth, teaching young people to question and disrespect their elders. These were serious accusations in ancient Athens. If found guilty, Socrates could be executed. Let me ask you a question. If you were accused of a crime you did not commit, how would you feel? Angry, afraid, frustrated? Socrates was not afraid. He believed in truth. He trusted that truth would defend him. But he also knew something deeper. He knew that many people hated him because he challenged their ideas. He knew this trial was not really about religion or about teaching. It was about control. They wanted to silence his voice. When the day of the trial arrived, the city of Athens was curious. Many people came to watch. Some came to support Socrates. Others came to see him punished. The trial took place in a large open space. There were 501 jurors, ordinary citizens chosen to judge the case. There were no lawyers. Socrates had to defend himself using only his words, his logic, and his courage. Before we continue, let us practice a few useful English phrases. Repeat after me slowly. I will speak the truth. Again, I will speak the truth. Next sentence. I'm not afraid. Again, I'm not afraid. One more. I stand for what is right. Again, I stand for what is right. Excellent. During the trial, Miletus, the main accuser, spoke first. He said that Socrates did not believe in the gods and that he introduced new spiritual ideas. He also repeated that Socrates was corrupting young men. But when Socrates responded, he did not beg for mercy. He did not try to please the jury. He stood tall and spoke with confidence. He used questions to show that Miletus had no evidence, no clear arguments, and no honest understanding of his own accusation. Let me share part of Socrates' defense in simple words. He said, "People of Athens, I am not corrupting the youth. I am helping them. I teach them to think, to question, to search for truth. If that is a crime, then I am guilty. But I do not believe it is a crime. I believe it is a service. If some young people now question wrong ideas, that is a good thing. Without questions, there is no learning." He then turned to Miletus and asked him, "Who improves the young people of Athens?" Miletus answered, "The laws." Socrates said, "And who understands and teaches the laws?" Miletus said, "The judges." Socrates asked, "All of them or only some?" Miletus said, "All of them." Then Socrates asked, "So according to you, everyone in Athens improves the youth except me? I am the only bad influence?" Miletus answered, "Yes, you alone." Socrates smiled. His point was clear. It made no sense that one man alone could corrupt all the young people. Miletus' accusation was weak. Repeat after me. Weak arguments cannot stand against truth. Again, weak arguments cannot stand against truth. Very good. But Socrates did something even more surprising. Instead of defending himself to save his life, he used his trial as a chance to teach. He told the jury that he believed he had a special purpose in life. He said that many years ago a friend of his asked the oracle at Delphi a question. The oracle was a religious figure. who was believed to speak the words of the god Apollo. Socrates' friend asked, "Who is the wisest man in Athens?" The oracle answered Socrates. When Socrates heard this, he did not believe it. He said, "How can I be wise when I know so little?" So he decided to find someone wiser than himself. He spoke to politicians, poets, and craftsmen, but he discovered something interesting. These people thought they were wise, but they were not. They did not know what they did not know. Socrates said, "I am wiser than they are because I know that I know nothing." Let us repeat this powerful sentence. I know that I do not know everything. Again, I know that I do not know everything. One more time. I know that I do not know everything. Excellent. Socrates believed that his mission was given to him by God. His job was to wake people up, to make them think, and to help them search for virtue. He said, "I am like a gadfly." A gadfly is a small insect like a fly that bites horses to make them move. He said that Athens was like a slow horse, lazy and sleeping, and he was the gadfly that kept it alive by making it move, think, and grow. Some people laughed. Others became angry, but everyone listened. Socrates' words had power. Now imagine sitting in that courtroom, a 70-year-old man, poor but honest, calm but powerful, standing before hundreds of people and defending truth with nothing but words. That is real courage. That is real strength. Let us repeat. Courage is speaking truth even when it is dangerous. Again, courage is speaking truth even when it is dangerous. Very good, but not everyone appreciated his honesty. Many people felt attacked by Socrates' words. They thought he was arrogant. They thought he was insulting Athens. They thought he was trying to make himself greater than others. So after both sides spoke, the votes were counted. The jury voted. The result was close. Socrates was found guilty. He was asked to suggest a punishment. In Athens, when someone was found guilty, they could suggest their own penalty. Most people in that situation would beg for a small fine or exile. But Socrates surprised everyone. He said, "What should be my punishment? I have spent my life helping this city. I have taught people to question themselves and become better citizens. So I believe I should be rewarded, not punished. I propose that the city should give me free meals for the rest of my life, just like Olympic champions." The jury was furious. They thought he was making fun of them. They voted again, and this time the punishment was death. Socrates was sentenced to die by drinking poison. The poison was called hemlock, a deadly drink that stopped the heart. Let us pause here. Take a deep breath. We have reached a dramatic moment. A man is sentenced to death not because he hurt anyone, not because he stole, not because he lied, but because he challenged people to think. This is not just a story from history. It is a lesson about courage, truth, and the price of honesty. Repeat after me. Truth has a price. Again, truth has a price. Next sentence. But truth is worth it. Again. But truth is worth it. You are learning more than English. You are learning mindset. In the next section, we will see what happens in Socrates' final days and what powerful message he leaves for the world. Socrates continued to walk through the streets of Athens, speaking with people every day. Some called him the wisest man in Greece. Others laughed at him and said he was crazy. But he did not care about fame or insults. He cared only about one thing, the truth. Every day, more young people came to listen to him. They did not follow him because he was rich or powerful. They followed him because he asked questions nobody else dared to ask. Questions like, what makes a good person? Why do we do what we do? What is justice? What is the purpose of life? Let me ask you now, my friend who is learning English. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself these kinds of questions? What is the purpose of your life? What do you truly believe? What do you truly want? These questions may seem simple, but they are powerful. They can change your life forever. Repeat after me. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to understand. Excellent. Many people respected Socrates, but not everyone liked him. Some people in Athens thought he was dangerous. They complained that he made young people question authority. They said he made people doubt their traditions. They said he was a troublemaker. Does that sound familiar? Many great thinkers in history have been called troublemakers. But were they really troublemakers? Or were they just brave people who asked hard questions? Repeat after me. Asking questions is not dangerous. Refusing to think is dangerous. One day, a man named Anytus, who was one of the powerful leaders of Athens, began to speak against Socrates. He said that Socrates was corrupting the youth. Another man, Meletus, accused him of teaching new gods. These were serious accusations in Athens. In that time, if someone was accused of these crimes, they could be put on trial. And not just any trial, a trial that could end with a death sentence. But did Socrates stop teaching? No. Did he run away? No. Did he apologize even though he believed he was innocent? No, instead he continued to speak the truth. And he continued to encourage his students to think for themselves. Socrates believed something very important. He believed that a person must always follow their conscience, even if the whole world is against them. He once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." What does that mean? It means that if we never question our ideas, our choices, and our beliefs, then we are not truly living. We are just existing. Repeat after me. I want to live a meaningful life. I want to understand myself. I want to know the truth. One day, as Socrates was walking to the market, a man stopped him and said, "Socrates, why do you teach people to ask questions? You make people uncomfortable. Why not just enjoy life and stop thinking so much?" Socrates smiled gently, as he often did, and said, "My friend, if a horse is never trained, it becomes wild and useless. If the mind is never trained, it becomes weak. Thinking is not a burden. Thinking is a gift. Let me ask you something. Do you think learning English is sometimes difficult? Yes, it can be. But just like exercising your body makes you stronger, exercising your mind makes you wiser. And learning a language is one of the best exercises for your mind. So never feel ashamed of learning. Repeat after me. I am learning. I am growing. I am improving. Every evening, Socrates would walk home slowly, thinking about the conversations he had that day. His students would follow him, eager to hear more. Among them was Plato, a young man who admired Socrates deeply. Plato later became one of the greatest philosophers in history. But at this time, he was still a student, a learner just like you. Plato once asked Socrates, "Why do you never give answers? Why do you always ask questions instead?" Socrates replied, "Because my goal is not to fill your mind with my answers. My goal is to help you discover your own answers. When I ask you questions, I am giving you the chance to think. And when you think for yourself, that is when you truly learn. Isn't that beautiful? This teaching method is now known all over the world. It is called the Socratic method. It is used in universities, law schools, and classrooms to help students understand through dialogue, not memorization. Socrates believed that real learning comes from conversation, reflection, and honesty. But soon, trouble was coming. Socrates was becoming too famous, too influential, too powerful with his words. And powerful people did not like that. Some men in Athens worried that Socrates was turning people against the government. They feared that he was dangerous. Fear is powerful. When people are afraid, they can do terrible things. And soon, fear would lead to injustice. One morning, Socrates was teaching in the marketplace as usual. A group of men walked toward him. They were not smiling. They did not look friendly. They carried a piece of paper with them. This was a legal document. They said, "Socrates, you have been charged with corrupting the youth and disobeying the gods of Athens. You must come with us to stand trial." The crowd was shocked. Some people cheered. Others were angry. Socrates did not resist. He did not fight. He simply nodded and said, "If this is the law, then I will follow the law. I have nothing to fear because I have done nothing wrong." His students begged him to run away. They told him to escape before the trial. But Socrates refused. He believed in justice. He believed in truth. He believed that he must face his accusers with courage. Let me ask you a question. If you were innocent but accused of a crime, would you run away? Or would you face the trial with courage like Socrates? Think about it. Before the trial, Socrates sat with his students. They were worried. They asked him if he was afraid. He told them, "No, death does not worry me. What worries me is doing what is wrong. I would rather die telling the truth than live telling lies." Did you hear that? Let us repeat that powerful message together. I would rather die telling the truth than live telling lies. Now again, with more confidence. I would rather die telling the truth than live telling lies. Excellent. That is a message of courage. Socrates believed that every person has a duty to be honest and moral. He believed that integrity is more important than safety. Courage is more important than comfort, and truth is more important than popularity. Think about your own life. Do you always say what you believe, or do you sometimes stay silent to make others happy? Do you follow your values, or do you follow the crowd? These are hard questions, but important ones. Repeat after me. I choose courage. I choose honesty. I choose wisdom. The day of the trial was getting closer. Athens was preparing for one of the most famous trials in history. People from all over the city came to watch. Some came to support Socrates. Others came to see him punished. The courtroom would soon be full, but the real battle was not between Socrates and his enemies. It was between truth and fear. And now, my friend, we will continue this powerful story together in the next section. Are you ready to move forward and face the trial with Socrates? The day of the trial arrived. The courtroom in Athens was crowded. Hundreds of people gathered to watch what would happen. Socrates walked calmly to the center of the room. He was not afraid. He did not look angry. He stood tall with quiet confidence. He believed in truth, and he trusted that truth would protect him. Repeat after me. I will stand for truth. Good. Once more, I will stand for truth. In Athens, a jury was not made of 12 people like modern times. Instead, it was much larger. On that day, there were 500 jury members. Yes, 500. These men would listen to the trial, and then they would vote. If most of them voted guilty, Socrates could be sentenced to death. The first to speak against Socrates was Miletus. He was a young man, but he was bold. He stood in front of the jury and said, "Men of Athens, this man Socrates is dangerous. He teaches the youth to question everything. He does not respect our gods. He is corrupting our society. He must be punished." Socrates listened without interrupting. When Miletus finished, Socrates asked calmly, "Miletus, do you truly believe that I am corrupting the youth?" Miletus replied, "Yes, I do." Socrates then said, "Do you think I do this on purpose or by accident?" Miletus answered, "On purpose, of course." Socrates looked at the jury and asked them, "Why would I do that? Why would I harm the young people of my own city? What would I gain from that? Does anyone choose to do evil on purpose? If a person hurts others, he will also be hurt in return. That is why no one chooses evil willingly. Let us pause for a moment. This is powerful logic. Socrates used reason to show that the accusation did not make sense. Let me ask you, do you think evil comes from ignorance or from wisdom? Socrates believed evil comes from ignorance. Repeat after me. Evil comes from ignorance. Good. Again, evil comes from ignorance. Socrates then asked Miletus another question. Who improves the youth? Does anyone in Athens care about their education? Miletus said, "Yes, the laws of Athens improve the youth." Socrates asked, "And who knows these laws best?" Miletus answered, "The judges do." Socrates smiled gently and asked, "So all the judges improve the youth, but I alone corrupt them. Is that what you say?" Miletus replied, "Yes, that is exactly what I say." The crowd laughed. Even some jury members smiled. They could see the contradiction. Was it possible that only one man was corrupting all the youth, while everyone else was improving them? That did not make sense. Socrates continued, "Miletus, you have not thought carefully about this. You accuse me without proof." Now Socrates turned to the second charge, that he did not believe in the gods of Athens. Socrates asked Miletus, "Do I really teach that there are no gods?" Miletus said, "Yes. You teach that the sun is only a stone and the moon is only earth." Socrates replied, "My friend, that was Anaxagoras, not me. You confuse me with another philosopher. I have never taught that. So why do you lie?" This was not just a defense. It was a lesson. Socrates was teaching everyone in the courtroom to think carefully before believing accusations. Repeat after me, always search for the truth. Again, always search for the truth. Then Socrates gave his famous speech. He said, Athenians, I am not your enemy. I am your friend. I am like a gadfly that wakes a sleepy horse. You are the horse, and I am the gadfly. I wake you up. I ask you to think. I ask you to care about virtue. Should you kill a man who wants to help you? This was a powerful message. But it was dangerous too. Many people do not like to be told that they are asleep. Many people do not like others to challenge their beliefs. Some members of the jury became angry. Some did not want to be told to improve themselves. Some wanted Socrates to be silent forever. Let me ask you a question. Do you think people like to hear the truth, or do they prefer to hear what makes them feel comfortable? Sometimes truth is uncomfortable, but we still need it. Repeat after me. I choose truth over comfort, Socrates continued. I will not stop teaching. I will not stop asking questions. Even if you let me go, I will continue to search for wisdom. Because this is my mission. This is my purpose. A good man must never stop doing what is right. The jury listened. Some were impressed. Others were irritated. Socrates did not beg for mercy. He did not try to win votes. He spoke honestly, bravely, and clearly. But in a trial, honesty is not always enough. Soon the jury members cast their votes. Small stones were placed in 2 boxes. One box was for guilty. The other was for not guilty. The votes were counted. The result came. Socrates was found guilty. The courtroom erupted in noise. Some people cheered. Some cried. Some shouted angrily. Some hung their heads in silence. Plato was heartbroken. Socrates' friends were shocked. But Socrates himself did not show fear or sadness. He stood calmly. He accepted the verdict. Then came the next step. In Athens, after a guilty verdict, the accused and the accuser could both suggest a punishment. The jury would choose one of the two. Meletus demanded death. So what did Socrates suggest as his own punishment? This may surprise you. Socrates said, Instead of a punishment, I deserve a reward. I have spent my life helping the people of Athens. I have encouraged them to think. I have improved their souls. So I should be rewarded with free meals at the public hall, like Olympic champions. The courtroom exploded with laughter and anger. Some said he was mocking the court. Others saw it as a sign of his unbreakable courage. But Socrates was serious. He believed that he had done nothing wrong. Why should he apologize? Why should he lie to save his life? Let us pause and reflect. Many people in the world today are afraid to speak the truth. They are afraid of losing their jobs, losing their friends, or losing their safety. But Socrates was not afraid. He believed that integrity matters more than life itself. Repeat after me. Courage is doing what is right. Again, courage is doing what is right. The jury voted again. This time they voted on the punishment. More people now voted against Socrates. Even some who thought he was innocent now believed he was proud and disrespectful. The final vote was clear. Socrates was sentenced to death. His students cried. Some shouted. But Socrates lifted his hand gently and told them, Do not be sad. No evil can happen to a good man. Death is not the end. It is simply a transition, a journey from this life to another. That day became one of the most emotional days in history. A man was sentenced to die not because he hurt anyone, but because he dared to think, to question, to teach. But even now, Socrates did not hate his enemies. He did not complain. He accepted his fate with peace in his heart. And now, my friend, we will continue this unforgettable journey in the next section, where we will discover what Socrates did in his final days and what powerful lessons he left for the world. After the trial, Socrates was taken to a small prison in Athens. His friends were heartbroken. They visited him every day, bringing food and comfort, hoping there was still a way to save him. The government decided that Socrates would die by drinking poison called hemlock. But due to a religious festival, they had to delay his execution. So Socrates remained in prison for 30 days. Imagine this moment. You are sitting in a cold stone room. You know that death is coming. Most people would cry. Most people would beg for freedom. But Socrates did something different. He used his final days to teach. Yes, even in prison he continued his mission. He continued asking questions. He continued searching for truth. Repeat after me, never stop learning. Again, never stop learning. Excellent. His most loyal students visited him in prison. Plato, Crito, Apollodorus, and others. They begged him to escape. They had a plan. They offered to bribe the guards. They said they could take him to another city where he could live safely. But Socrates refused. He said, "I will not run away. I have obeyed the laws of Athens all my life. I cannot break them now just because they do not serve me." That would be wrong. Think about that. Most people follow laws only when they like them. But Socrates believed in moral consistency. He believed that a person must live according to principles, even when it is difficult. Repeat after me. Do what is right, not what is easy. His friend Crito begged him again. He said, "Think of your children, Socrates. Think of your students. Think of your wife. They need you." But Socrates asked, "Would teaching my children to run from what is right help them?" No. The best lesson I can give them is to show them that a person must always follow truth and justice, even until the end. These were his final lessons. Lessons not from words, but from action. Let me ask you a question. What do you think is more powerful, words or actions? Yes, actions. Actions show who we really are. Repeat after me. Actions speak louder than words. Socrates did not fear death. Why? Because he believed that the soul is immortal. He said death is either a long, peaceful sleep or a journey to another world where we continue learning. Why should I be afraid of that? Let us learn a few useful English words here. The word immortal means something that does not die. Soul means the spiritual part of a person. Justice means fairness and doing what is right. Repeat after me, immortal. Now you say it, good. Next word, soul, good. Next word, justice. Well done. One day, while Socrates was in prison, he had a long conversation with his friends. They asked him what he believed about the soul. He said, "I believe that the soul is eternal, and that wise people care more about their soul than their body. The body dies, but the soul lives on. So we must always choose goodness, truth, and wisdom." His student Apollodorus began to cry. He died not as a criminal, but as a philosopher, a seeker of truth. He did not leave gold or land behind. He left something greater, a legacy of wisdom, courage, and truth. His life became a message to every generation. Think for yourself. Question everything. Live with integrity. Now let us reflect. What have we learned from Socrates? We learned that education is not about memorizing answers. It is about asking questions. Repeat after me. Questions lead to wisdom. Again. Questions lead to wisdom. We learned that fear should not control our lives. Repeat after me. Courage is stronger than fear. We learned that truth is more important than popularity. Repeat after me. Speak the truth with courage. We learned that wisdom begins when we admit our ignorance. Repeat after me. I know that I know nothing. Excellent. Now I want to ask you, what will you do with the lessons of Socrates? Will you think more deeply? Will you stay true to your values? Will you continue learning? And most importantly, will you use your mind to make the world better? You are not just learning English in this story. You are learning about life. You are growing stronger with every word, every thought, every new idea. So do not stop. Keep going. Keep improving. Keep learning. Repeat after me, I will never stop learning. Again, I will never stop learning. Repeat after me, I will seek truth. Again, I will seek truth. Repeat after me, I will use my mind. Again, I will use my mind. One more powerful line. My voice matters. My ideas matter. My life has purpose. This is not the end of the story. Socrates' ideas did not die with him. They lived on through his students, especially Plato, who wrote down Socrates' teachings. Plato taught Aristotle. Aristotle taught Alexander the Great. And through them, the ideas of Socrates traveled across the world, shaping history, education, law, philosophy, and even modern science. And now these ideas have reached you. Yes, you. Through this story, the wisdom of Socrates lives again, and you are now part of that story too. This is the final part of our journey together, and I want you to read these words with your heart open. You have learned about Socrates, a man who had no riches, no special position, and no army behind him. He had only one weapon, the power of truth. He believed that wisdom is not about knowing everything, but about being honest with yourself. He believed that a meaningful life begins when you dare to question your thoughts, your habits, and your choices. And more than that, he believed that a person should never stop learning until the last breath. Maybe you are watching this video because you want to improve your English. Maybe you want a better life. Maybe you want to grow your confidence or create new opportunities. Whatever your reason is, I want you to know this. You are already on the right path. You are not just learning English. You are building discipline, courage, and mental strength. You are investing in yourself, just like Socrates did. Many people do not grow because they stop asking questions. They accept what others tell them. They live the same day again and again. But not you. You chose learning. You chose growth. You chose improvement. Repeat after me. I choose to grow. I choose to learn. I choose to improve myself every single day. Socrates believed that true change starts inside. He said that to make the world better, you must first make yourself better. He never forced anyone to agree with him. Instead, he helped people discover their own truth by asking questions. He believed in the power of reflection. So let me ask you now, who do you want to become? Not who you are today, but who you dream of becoming. What habits do you need to change? What fears do you need to face? If you want to grow, you must first know yourself. If you want to succeed, you must control your thoughts. If you want to be free, you must be honest with your heart. These are tools that can build a great life. Repeat after me. I know myself. I control my thoughts. I follow my truth. Socrates said that every action begins with a thought. Success begins with a thought. Failure begins with a thought. So guard your thoughts. Feed your mind with positive energy. Learn every day. Speak with purpose. Use your words to encourage, not to hurt. Use your mind to solve problems, not to create them. Maybe you think your English is not good enough. Maybe you worry about mistakes. But remember Socrates. He did not fear being wrong. He believed that mistakes are steps toward wisdom. Do not fear mistakes. Embrace them. Learn from them. Repeat after me. Mistakes help me grow. Practice makes me stronger. I will not give up. Do you remember how Socrates was judged by his city? People misunderstood him. They feared his ideas. But instead of changing himself to please others, he stayed true to his beliefs. That is real courage. Courage is staying loyal to your values, even when life becomes difficult. So when someone tells you that your dream is too big, stay strong. When people laugh at your English, keep practicing. When life becomes heavy, do not quit. Stand up again. Walk forward again. Believe again. You are stronger than you think. If you want a better life, do 3 things. Ask better questions. Take daily action. Never stop learning. These habits will change everything. Ask better questions like Socrates did. Take daily action because success is built step by step. Never stop learning because knowledge gives freedom. Before we finish, promise yourself something today. Promise that you will use your time well. Promise that you will keep improving. Your future is waiting. Your story is not finished. You are still writing it, 1 page at a time. Repeat after me one last time. I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming better every day. I believe in myself. I will follow my truth. I will live with purpose. I will never give up. Thank you for joining this journey through the unbelievable story of Socrates. His life reminds us that knowledge is power, courage is freedom, and truth is a light. Keep learning, keep asking, keep shining. The world needs people like you. This is not the end. This is your beginning. Never forget that even the smallest step forward is still progress. Keep moving, keep believing, and your effort will shape your destiny. Always.